That's all I want to say. The king in the north!
The king of the
The
north!
king in the north!
The king of the north!
Oh my god! I literally got chills.
Oh my god. Hello everyone. Welcome to our special Game of Thrones themed episode of Netflix
And kill.
I'm Alia Stark.
I don't have a really cool name like that.
It's okay. She'll come up with one, I'm sure, by the end of this session. But thanks for tuning in. We have a very special episode. We're going to be talking our asses off. So please feel free to listen in on our rants and our theories and just what we have to say about like these crazy, amazing season finale and what's to come.
So good. We're a little late, but it took us a while to formulate our thoughts.
Yeah.
There's a lot that happened in this episode.
We needed some time to recover, I think.
That too.
Yeah.
So we gotta break it down.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start with our moment of silence.
Ah, yes.
For several people.
Several.
Marjorie and Loris.
Mm-hmm.
Man, just
Very sad. It was quite a loss. I mean, but did you see it coming?
I knew she was gonna die, but I thought it would be like an epic way. I didn't think it was just gonna be like obliterate the entire King's Landing.
I saw it coming. I just don't want to believe it because it's like Marjorie. She didn't.
But I thought she was gonna have her own special death, not like a mass death. You know,
yeah.
like I didn't think it was fair for her.
But it was kind of like a kill 5,000 birds with like one explosion.
Stone.
One explosion. Yeah,
Literal 5,000 birds. Tommen's gone.
Oh yeah, we loved him. Yeah. No, we didn't.
Hey, but did you think he was gonna take his own life? That was a twist.
No. At first, I thought the mountain was going to wreck him. When he put his arm on his shoulder, I was like, but then, like, I'm like, no, I'm Cersei, she still cares about her son. And we can get into that later.
Yeah.
But
Speaking of Cersei, her soul is dead as well.
yeah.
Which we will definitely talk about more. But
for sure. Mm-hmm.
Just a moment of silence for all of those that are no longer in this series, and
except for the High Sparrow, I didn't care for him, so he's.
I'm glad he's gone,
yeah,
but I do really miss Marjorie. Like I'm very sad that Marjorie is no longer, and they pretty much took out the entire House Tyrell.
Mm-hmm.
They're gone, so.
I mean, at least it makes for more screen time for other characters.
That's true. We're gonna start with the biggest one, which was the biggest revelation of this episode. Fucking Jon Targaryen.
Mm-hmm. Finally, it's coming like to fruition that he is in fact a Targaryen. Like this is a the biggest fan theory. Like and it just needs to be like revealed already.
It was confirmed that he is the love child of Lyanna Stark and Rhaegar Targaryen.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody, this is big. We were correct. Like people that have had this theory, it has been confirmed. He is now gonna be he's gonna be one of the riders. He's gonna be one of the dragon riders. Daenerys is also his aunt.
Yeah.
How do you think? Well, first of all, do you think he's ever gonna find out? Because what's Bran up to?
Well, he has to find out. Like.
But how long do you think it's gonna take? Because Bran right now is the only one that knows. But Bran's obviously on his own
Good
other
question.
mission.
Good question.
And I don't think he's gonna get anywhere with just Mira.
Yeah.
Because Benjen left, so
I don't even freaking know what Bran. Like I don't even know what Bran's gonna be doing. Is he just gonna be going through these visions and going through the past this whole time for like what the rest of the 13 episodes?
Well, because he is the three-eyed raven now.
Mm-hmm.
So that's his purpose. Although, what if he sends a raven? Oh, I don't know if I remember. What if he sends a raven to Jon?
It would make sense. He has to do something, and it's one way that he can find out.
Yeah, but no one even knows. First of all, they don't even know Bran's alive, so there's that. Second, this is like, I mean, will he still have a claim to House Stark for Winterfell? Do you think if it's revealed that he's officially a Targaryen?
Oh, that's true. That's a good question. And who was it that didn't? Wasn't there someone who didn't like Targaryens? Or am I making that up?
I have no idea. But I mean, just because, technically he's still a Stark, but he's not Ned's son. And therefore, does he still have claim to be the king in the north?
they can overlook that. I mean, come on, he won the Battle of the Bastards. Like, get over it. Like, come on.
Well, and how do you think that's going to affect things when they find out there's another Targaryen still alive? Or
well,
the only one so far, because Daenerys kind of, I mean, I guess she's on her way, but...
If this did affect it negatively for Jon Snow, then that could totally, like, transition to another topic that we're going to talk about, which would be with Sansa, maybe, possibly. Her, you know, probably taking over the throne, possibly, and along with, like, Littlefinger. You know, I don't know. That's a thought that I kind of was, like, wondering about that, if they did react to his reveal, like, negatively in any shape or form. But something to think about.
How do you think this is going to affect anything? I mean, well, everything, actually, because Daenerys is...
looking for a husband.
Well, that too.
Or a girl.
We'll get to that, but she's coming to take the Seven Kingdoms because she has claim. Except, what happens to Jon now? Because technically, Rhaegar was next in line, and Jon is his son, which means Jon is gonna
override Daenerys.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good question.
And how is that gonna affect
Daenerys overtaking
Daenerys, but also party lines? You know, like. Is it now going to be a battle between Dawn and Daenerys, you know, because they have very two different styles. Daenerys is very much just like, you know, she wants to save everyone, and Jon's a little bit more strategic, you know, he fights like a warrior, and is it going to create like a divide where people think, you know, he's the promised one, but she's the promised one, but they're both actually related?
Yeah. Well, that just means they just have to get married despite being related to one another.
Although that is the Targaryen way. So.
I mean, incest. I mean, we're kind of used to it right now with Cersei and Jaime. So I could totally see them being together despite, you know, being an aunt. I could. It's been theorized a lot. I've been reading a lot. And, like, I see them linking up some. Like, I can't see them personally, nor do I want it to happen. I can't see them going against one another. It might happen, but I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know if they would go against each other because they're like family, quote unquote, but I guess it would be one who's to trust Bran. I mean, first of all, they seem to be a little behind on their news. I mean, when Sam made it to the Citadel, they didn't even know that Jorah Mormont was no longer Lord Commander, even though he's been gone for like 5 years. So they seem to be a little behind on the time. So like, who's gonna trust Bran that he's the three-eyed raven when they don't even know the real three-eyed raven is like gone? And like, how does he prove that Jon is truly a Targaryen? Oh, I guess Targaryens don't burn. Oh my gosh, what if they burn him?
Well, that would be a huge reveal in itself. I would like that.
But how does that affect? My thing would be, I don't know how that's gonna affect, you know, Melisandre's whole prophecy, because he's the chosen one, but then Daenerys is the chosen one. I think if there's going to be any conflict, it's going to be over these two ideas of who the prophecy is actually talking about.
And is Jon older than Daenerys?
I think they're like the same. No, Daenerys is older.
Okay.
Because Daenerys was really little when
Jon Snow was born.
When Jon Snow was born.
Okay.
So they're like maybe within 5 years of each other.
Good to know.
Speaking of Daenerys, Tyrion is officially the hand of the queen.
Yes, that was sweet. I mean, it was deserved. I mean, I don't know. I feel like Tyrion, he hasn't been doing a whole lot. Do you think he's been there, but he hasn't been doing a whole lot. At least not in this past season. He didn't do much, in my eyes. I don't know. What do you think?
I think he's really proven himself. I think you see how, I mean, when he talks about having hope for the first time, I mean, it was a really sweet moment, because when he kneeled down, like he for once in his life truly believed in something and someone, and he really, I feel like he's found his place. I think the whole season has shown that this is where Tyrion belongs, you know, and Daenerys, unlike everybody else, like truly takes his advice to heart and believes in him, you know.
I think, like, for him, the thing that stood out from him through this season was the fact that he like the dragons, like, they didn't, when he was interacting with them, they didn't have a whole lot of, like, they weren't, like, what am I trying to say? They weren't threatened. Yeah, exactly. So that brings up another theory. Is he going to be the third dragon rider? Is he really like a Lannister?
Yeah. Well, does it? affect anything. I mean, Daenerys has now given him a bigger role too.
Mhm.
So do you think that's actually? I mean, that could give him more claim too.
Yeah.
There might be a reason why she connects with him better than
Mhm.
everybody else. I don't know. I'm not sure. I know there in the books it's mentioned that he used to have visions or like dreams of dragons, and he always read about dragons, and he always had this strange kind of connection to like strange interest to dragons and whatnot, which is I guess the biggest connection that you can make between him and possibly being a dragon rider.
Mhm.
So I'm not sure. But I'm also biased because I still really want it to be Gendry.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I would like Tyrion to be it. I think that would like even more prove himself as well, and it would just be fucking badass.
So someone actually pointed out to me that throughout the years they kept breeding dragons, right? And that the dragons got smaller and smaller the more you bred them. And Tyrion happens to be smaller than most people, and there's definitely a parallel between that.
Mm-hmm. That's very interesting.
I'm excited for him to assist Daenerys
Mm-hmm.
to make it to King's Landing, and for him to finally get his revenge on Cersei and just take her down. Just I would love to see that face off.
Yeah.
Where Tyrion, because they've always looked down on Tyrion, and he's actually proven himself. He's officially the hand of the queen. He's with the dragon lady, the mother of dragons, whatever, the Daenerys Stormborn, and it'll be really like it'll be a really epic scene for him to finally face off with Cersei.
So does this lead into us talking about Cersei now?
Yes, it does.
All right, perfect.
In a category I have labeled things have gone to shit. Cersei is a queen.
She really is. She's friggin' batshit insane, but that's why I'm totally here for it, and I'm okay with it. Like, that was fucking amazing what she did and how she pulled it off. So slick. And then like just watching it go down, in her like cozy little room.
She's just drinking wine at like in the morning, broad daylight. When we see Cersei take the throne, we see Jaime looking on, and he does not look happy.
Yep.
He looks pissed. Her eyes look just dead. I mean, her soul is gone. Tommen was her last, I guess, piece of humanity, and he took his own life. So she doesn't care. She finally got what she wanted. And Jaime lost his son, and Cersei took the throne he always wanted. He slayed the king with the intention of taking the throne, and Cersei just did it on her own. So how do you think this is going to affect the relationship? Like, what do you think Jaime's going to do now?
Well, it's got to affect it negatively for sure, and it kind of like there's a lot like I can talk about this because also with Tyrion, Tyrion, he may be the one to defeat Cersei, but what if it's Jaime? Because Cersei, the prophecy from I believe the witch.
Oh yeah, she's gonna be slayed, right?
But yeah, by her younger brother, which was it was I forget what the exact, but the term that the witch used was it meant little brother. Yeah,
well, and actually Cersei was born first.
Yeah.
So she is older than Jaime.
Mm-hmm. So instead of being a Kingslayer, what if Jaime?
The Twin Slayer.
No.
Queenslayer.
Queenslayer, exactly. So I can see Jaime turning on Cersei for sure, absolutely. And the prophecy was fulfilled that 3 of her children will die.
Yeah.
So I mean, well, and a younger, more beautiful queen will usurp the throne. Is that Daenerys, or was that like possibly could have been Marjorie? But it's just like
I think she thought it was Marjorie, and that's why she took her out, obviously. But I think it's probably talking about Daenerys.
Mm-hmm. It has
plot
to be.
twist Arya. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my god! And that's another thing. What if I know this is jumping ahead of music because we can talk about Arya, but what if Arya has like Jaime's face, or no, Tyrion's face, because she's short, and she kills Cersei? I mean, she wants to kill Cersei, but we can talk about that later.
I don't think it. First, well, yeah, we'll get to that. I just want to clarify. I don't think it can be Tyrion's face because he's still alive. I think you can only take the faces of those that are dead.
Oh my god, damn it. Okay, well, what if Tyrion dies? You know.
No, don't say that.
Well,
back to Jaime though.
Be Jaime.
I feel like Cersei's gonna try to control him, and I would like to see how he handles that. I also would like to throw out this theory that I don't know if it's gonna be true or not, and it might just be me jumping to conclusions. Jaime and Brienne always had a particular connection,
Yes.
And
very questionable.
She tells him, when they're taking River, or when they're both at River Run, she tells him that if things go south, they're gonna be against each other because she has to take the side that Sansa's on, and he actually looks at her and says, "I hope that doesn't happen." Or something along those lines. I'm sorry, don't get mad at me. He doesn't
want to kill her. He doesn't want to harm her. Like
now knowing that Cersei is just dead, completely dead inside, has no concern for anybody else's interest but herself. Maybe Jaime's gonna side with Brienne and call upon her to come up with a way to take Cersei out. I wouldn't say that he's gonna jump to killing her. But I think he's going to find a way to remove her from power some way or another. And I think it's going to come to him, like you said, killing her, but it's going to be a very bittersweet moment. But I think I would want him to reunite with Brienne in order to take down Cersei.
Because Brienne, she was kind of like, we don't know what happened with her.
Yeah, we don't. We'll get to that. Things have also gone to shit with the Freys. Because... guess who's back? Arya Stark.
Oh my god, yes. My girl, Arya. That was the best moment in the episode when she slit his throat.
Did you see it coming? I didn't know it was going to be her.
I didn't think it was going to be her either.
You see, there's a shot when Jaime's talking to Walder Frey.
And the girl that looked at.
Yeah, looked at Jaime, and I thought, oh, she's going to be like a Lannister. Like, this is going to be like a red wedding, but like Lannister style. And when that servant girl is speaking to Walder Frey about his sons, I thought, oh, Jaime's going to hire her to like pull something. And lo and behold, it's Arya.
And I was very satisfied. with that moment.
So what do you think her deal with Jaqen was? Because the last time we see her, she tells him a girl is Arya Stark and a girl is going home. But she's obviously allowed to take faces. So do you think that he keeps her because he's kind of like, you're badass, like I want you on my team? Or do you think he lets her go and like takes faces with her along the way?
I mean, she basically, like, won the game. She beat the waif, like, so, I mean, I honestly don't know how that went about, how the end result, how that just resulted, but, I mean, I'm happy with it, because it paid off finally, like, those 2 seasons that Arya was there, she gained this freaking ability, so, regardless of how it came to be, like, I just think, like, she's just here to slay, and she can, like, do it. She
literally slayed.
Yeah, she could do it so fucking. Oh my god.
Well, she ground up his sons. Like she like shredded their meat and made it into a sandwich.
Yeah, a pie. Was it a pie? It was like a pie. It was a meat pie.
It was like.
Yeah.
Arya Stark of 2 seasons ago would never have done that, and to see her just become this like force to be reckoned with. Man. I'm
happy. I don't know how she managed to put them into a pie, but...
So, with Walder Frey gone, the twins and now River Run have no official ruler, and actually Walder Frey and his sons, so his heirs, are gone. So, when Jaime's talking to him, he said that the Freys are holding it for the Lannisters. So the question is, the Lannisters, are they going to rule the twins and River Run now? Or is Littlefinger going to take it? Because technically, Lysa's son rules the Vale, and Lysa was a Tully. Or is it going to go to Sansa and Jon? Because because they're also a Tully. Well, at least Sansa is. Or do you think they're just gonna, are they gonna be Lannister and they're their support to Cersei, Is Jaime gonna take it and
I feel like
hold it?
honestly, the Lannisters, they need all the help they can get. Like somehow I feel like it would end up with the Lannisters because I mean, there's so much people against them, you know. So I could see it going to the Lannisters somehow. Like so I don't know because I feel like
Well, technically, the Lannisters have rule over it now,
huh.
but considering River Run belonged past tense to the Tullys before it was taken,
Yeah.
that then leaves the option of Sansa or Littlefinger, who's ruling under Lysa. Well, because he married whatever.
Yeah. Well, it could either I don't know. Well, it's gonna be like it can be a battle. I don't know.
Because
like,
Littlefinger is like he wants that throne. He wants it with Sansa. He's kind of on a mission to kind of build up an army. So do you think he'll go for Riverrun, or do you think he's gonna continue to go after Sansa
he's
and
gonna go after Sansa for sure. Like, but like maybe like that would be if he does get this throne, maybe it's like a stepping stone to get to something bigger.
Right.
So possibly to build himself up in order to somehow be acquainted with Sansa because he that's what he like. That's his main goal.
Yeah,
he sees Catelyn Stark and Sansa.
Do you think he'll take Riverrun and maybe the twins, however that works out? Do you think he'll take it and offer his support for Sansa, or do you think he'll as a way to show, hey, I'm on your side, you can have this, or do you think he's gonna take it and kind of be like, come to me, look what I have, look what I can do?
Because I mean, you can definitely see or get the vibe that Sansa, she does want some type of power.
Yeah.
Especially with the end of this season. So, regardless of how it happens, like, I can definitely see him, like, claiming that throne or attempting to claim that throne for Sansa. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. I feel like Jaime. I have this strong feeling that because Jaime was the last one that was. I mean, that's where he came from.
He was just there.
He was just there. I know, which is like, what was the timeline of that? Like, was he off? Was he taken off and Arya?
I guess.
But,
yeah. Pretty much.
I think Jaime will go back, and it'll be interesting to see what he does with it, though, because I don't think he will hold it for Cersei.
You don't think Littlefinger? Oh yeah, definitely. You don't think him and Littlefinger will somehow kind of like?
Maybe I don't know because I don't know what Jaime's gonna do, and
Well, he's definitely like I can't see him like really getting fully behind Cersei enough to like really want to claim Riverrun.
But
I don't think.
I think he also knows he's not smart enough to outsmart her.
True that.
So I'm not sure what he'll do. I think he's gonna be the one that takes over Riverrun and the twins. But what he does with it, I mean, he could get Brienne because that's the last time we see Brienne as well.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So they could form an alliance.
We just need this next season, like as soon as possible, like because there's only 13 episodes left.
And then well, missing in action this episode, the Hound. We haven't seen him. Which I would like to propose a theory. I think if anyone's gonna, because Cersei has the mountain, and the Hound is definitely Clegane Bowl is definitely on its way. I think the Hound is gonna. I mean, maybe he meets with Brienne and they kind of have a truce.
Oh my god.
They have a reconciliation.
You think? Oh god. I
don't know, but we're definitely leading towards him facing off with the mountain.
Yeah.
And I think.
My pants ripped. Sorry. I'm like, no.
I'm back.
They ripped at work. Anyways, go on.
I think the way Cersei is going to be taken out is when the Hound comes and takes out the mountain, and that way she's vulnerable. Because who can touch Cersei when she has the mountain protecting her?
I'm still personally not that pleased with the Hound coming back. Like,
so someone's going to take his side. Maybe it's Jaime. Maybe it's Brienne. But I think.
Very good theory. Very good theory indeed. Because who else is going to take down, like, I would have liked Brienne to do it personally.
Who was also missing in action.
Unfortunately.
So we hope that she rowed her boat to shore.
I was so afraid. Like, I thought something bad was going to happen to her. Like, but.
Where do you think Brienne's going? Do you think she's going back to Winterfell? Do you think she's, well, yeah, she was at Winterfell. Do you think she's going back to Winterfell? Do you think, what is she up to?
I'm wondering. I wonder if she's going to somehow.
Like, is she still trying to find people to support Sansa?
I feel like she would somehow, encounter Arya. Do you think that? Because, like, her and Arya have history, so maybe somehow them reuniting
Well,
somehow?
she didn't... Wait, did she talk to Arya?
A long time ago. Like a long...
Yeah, she saw her.
Yeah, like, I'm wondering about
duh, because
yeah.
remember she took out the hand. I don't know, because Arya's not really traveling with her face right now.
True. But maybe that's kind of like how it will be revealed. I don't know. Like, it would be really interesting to see that.
Yeah, right. Brienne's like, hey, by the way, Sansa and Jon took Winterfell. Should head back home, so get going. Where are they now? Is my next category.
Yeah, where are they?
Melisandre was told to ride south,
Mm-hmm.
and that if she ever came back, she would be taken out.
Oh, God.
So where do you think she's running to? Where would she go, really? Because, what's his name? Stannis is gone, and he doesn't really have a throne or any sort of alliance.
Dude, she's such a wild card. Like, now that I didn't even realize.
Like, where do you think Melisandre's gonna go? Where else does she have to go?
I don't know.
Insert strange noises.
God. But I know that we're going to somehow, like, need her. Like, because she's gone, or John's gonna have to, like, because, I don't know, he might possibly regret his decision, maybe?
Yeah, which is my next question. Do you think Jon did the right thing sending her off? Do you think he acted too rashly?
Well, we know when the White Walkers come, we're going to be like, Jon, you're an idiot. Because we could somehow use Melisandre's powers.
But apparently she doesn't really have powers. She does whatever the Lord lets her do.
She claimed that. She's like, you're going to need me, and blah, 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 blah. And,
well, she didn't even really make claims. She was just like, oh, crap, you found out that I killed, I don't know why I'm blanking on everybody's name. But
I feel like she has something up her sleeve. She has to. Other than that, like, then if she didn't, then she'd be kind of like a useless character, you know?
Right.
But, and then I totally completely forgot about the whole necklace thing.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, I thought somehow that was going to be explained. I could have saw Melisandre being somehow killed in this episode.
Yeah, what was that? That's a good point. Her necklace, because they just kind of, they threw in that information and then just never touch it again.
Oh, and he put, I remember with Jorah, crossing paths with Jorah, is she gonna heal him? Great.
Can she heal him?
Yeah, like, because Shireen, right? Shireen? She was affected with it.
Yeah, and then Stannis hired every healer, every red lady. He hired everybody to help her. But Melisandre's important because I think she was around to witness the curing of Shireen. Now, nobody actually knows what cured her, but I think Melisandre is one of the few people that knows that she was actually cured.
So that's a really good, thing to keep in mind. Will she? I mean, granted, he's, in a desert area.
Yeah, because we don't even know what's going on with Jorah.
Yeah. But he'll show his face up somehow. Oh, man, and... I mean, he wouldn't be happy if Daenerys and Jon somehow, hooked up. He's gonna be like, I killed myself, and this is, what I come on to.
But Jon came back, okay? Jorah might just die once. Jon died and came back again.
Maybe he'll die fighting for Daenerys.
Maybe.
That's enough for him. I don't know. I feel bad for him. He's in a rough spot right now, literally.
Well, we'll get to Jon.
No, Jorah.
Jorah, yeah. Benjen is our next one. He leaves Bran.
Yeah. I mean, I was wondering about his purpose, because was his purpose just to quickly show up and save Bran?
Well, it's kind of, for me, I felt like it was hinted that he was off trying to find out more about White Walkers and what could heal them, because when we see him, he's not far from where the children of the forest were. So he has to be aware of that, and he knows what it means for Bran to be the Three-Eyed Raven. I mean, he knows a lot, and I think he's seen a lot.
Well, he could possibly meet up with Melisandre somehow,
That's true, but what does that mean? Because they don't really believe in Melisandre. They don't.
Then that would be a really good juxtaposition.
They believe
that would be a really good dynamic to see, the contrast of those two characters.
So I don't know, because he leaves Bran. He says, I can't go farther. So what has Benjen seen? What does he know? Is he gonna go back to?
He doesn't look too good.
Yeah,
is
he going back to Winterfell? Is he going back to the Wall?
He's another wild card. These damn, where are they? Oh my god, I don't even know.
Samwell Tarly's at the Citadel is our next one.
Oof.
We actually just see him enter basically the largest library in the world. And that's it.
No women and kids are allowed.
Yeah, so that was very, it seemed like a very out of place scene. Obviously, I think it's gonna mean Sam is also gonna be researching White Walkers.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was important that Sansa tells Jon that they got a dove, some bird from the Citadel, informing that winter is here. So I think that's important because clearly there's some communication between where Sam is and where Sansa and Jon are. But it was just very out of place. I don't know if we really needed to.
He has no freaking clue that Jon died and was resurrected.
That's true.
And I was afraid because last time, before that, the finale, like he stole the sword.
The sword, right?
And I was like, oh my god! And like before that, like the disapproval, like obviously with Gilly. Yeah, Gilly, she was. That too. She's welding, and like I was like, oh my god, like there's gonna something totally horrible gonna happen.
Do you think we're gonna see Sam fight? I mean, we have to. He has that sword. But how do you think it's gonna go from him being at the Citadel to fighting?
He definitely has like the role of the underdog. Like he is going to somehow.
Well, he's killed White Walkers,
But like he's still like this, like he is kind of like this character that like no one like don't take him seriously, but like we kind of like, I don't know, he's just not like as prominent as like Jon Snow, but like I don't know, I see good things for Sam for sure. Like he's not dying anytime soon.
Is there gonna be some sort of alliance, like Jon's gonna tell Sam like, hey, announce to the world that we're back, or like like how is Sam gonna help Jon other than research White Walkers?
Ooh.
What's in store for him at the Citadel? We have no idea.
Okay, screw the White Dove. Thread Raven needs to somehow get up in the mix, and they can send it somehow to the Citadel and back to Jon, and like we'll figure this out. What
is his role other than the primary like communication?
He definitely has like I know he has like a very important role.
Like right now it seems like he's the messenger. So what do you think is gonna happen to Sam and Gilly? Because that was a weird. There's no women and children.
I'm afraid for Gilly. I'm so afraid for Gilly. Like I something bad's gonna happen for sure, but like I don't see Sam dying. Gilly might. I don't know. And their son, right?
Do you think they're gonna stay at the Citadel, or do you think Sam's gonna be like, oh shoot, like I know where they're from, we gotta go back over there? I don't know.
I think go either way, actually.
Because he stole that sword for a reason.
But it's a very sticky situation. He needs to find out. He just needs to find out about the White Walkers, and they just need to get out of there.
This is where it gets really annoying in a way, because Bran knows. Bran knows how the Children of the Forest, how the White Walkers were created, in a way, kind of how the White Walkers can be destroyed, because he's kind of witnessed it a little bit. But he's why can't Bran send the news, or that's what's getting really annoying. It's because certain people are learning this information and not enough in You know how much time he could save Sam if he just tells everybody what he knows? Anyway, true. I'm just complaining because Bran needs
it's totally fine.
Bran needs to not be crippled.
I understand you.
Speaking of, it's a very good juxtaposition because Jaime is the one that pushed him out of a window, and for Tommen to actually jump out of a window and die. I mean,
well, I guess that's karma for you. Don't push kids out of the window, or your kid's gonna push himself out of the window. Jesus Christ.
The most important thing. Well, this is a big one. Sansa's grown a lot.
Yeah.
This season, but also where we see her in the beginning, where she just wants to be married. She wants to be this beautiful queen. She just kind of wants to be this trophy wife. And Jon, who just wanted to fight. Well, he just wanted to defend the wall. He didn't want to be a leader, and he's now thrust into power. And this is the same kid that was made Lord Commander, where he's kind of I guess, when everybody starts chanting, the king in the north, the king in the north, he stands up and he embraces it. So, like you mentioned earlier, Sansa, we see her, she's not sure how she feels because they were there to kind of declare Sansa to be queen in a way. Because Jon has a conversation with Sansa and he tells her, you were the true heir. Your mother and father, he's a bastard. And she tells him, no, you're not a bastard to me. So that was important because then she talks to Littlefinger, who tells her, well, Jon is a bastard. Why are you letting Jon take over? So he's trying to create, and then his whole idea of, I want you to be queen, I want to sit on the throne, I want you there with me, and she tells him no. And she seems to be like she's on the side of Jon.
Yeah.
Until we see that look on her face. So my question is, do you think do you think Littlefinger will get in her head? Do you think it's actually gonna bother her that Jon is ruling Winterfell, especially since when we see her in Battle of the Bastards, she tells him how to defend against Ramsay, how to win this battle, and he doesn't listen to her.
Yeah. Maybe she was purposely late to the battle because she won. I don't know.
Like, do you think she will realize she's actually, like, she wants this role?
She definitely.
That she can do this better than Jon can.
I think so. I don't want to believe it, but I think so. It would definitely create lots of conflict for them.
Yeah,
because they had such a great resolution to this season, all of them together. But her being so Littlefinger being a little bastard, in his scheming, conniving ways, he's got to somehow, influence her negatively. And there is a dark side to Sansa that Sophie Turner has mentioned. And we started to see it. It was definitely teased at, and the facial expressions. So it's bound to happen, unfortunately. And this would definitely, I guess, create even more conflict for Jon.
Do you think she will directly go against him though? Do you think she will put a stop to his rule?
I think she wants to, but she's gonna somehow get Littlefinger to. She's gonna somehow frame it to make it seem like Littlefinger's behind it all. I think that's in order for her to be completely clean, have her hands clean of any blood.
Right. So let's backtrack a little bit. You mentioned the dark side of Sansa, which we do see a lot of. She full on sides with Littlefinger, doesn't let Jon know, at least when we see in the Battle of the Bastards. And then when we see her later talking to him at Winterfell, she tells him, well, I should have told you, but you just can't really trust Littlefinger. So we see her kind of being a little conniving, a little strategic. We see how she's very much aware you cannot trust Littlefinger. So we see this more strategic, very she is playing two different sides, two different parties, two different lines.
Yep. She's playing the fence, and that's why it was I even joke maybe did she arrive to the battle late purposely?
And she's getting you see that she's getting very good at this. She's very, very good at kind of being this double agent in a way. And when we see her again in that last scene where we see her look at Jon, it's very possible that she has something up her sleeve. She's gotten very good at playing both sides.
It was too well teased for it not to happen. Right. And and it just shows so much growth despite it being horrible. And it just fascinates me, and it just makes me love her character even more from where she came from, that timid, meek little girl that just wanted to be a freaking queen.
And on that same thing, we see her just be completely just dead inside in a way. She's just no emotions whatsoever. She's tough. She doesn't let anything bother her. And especially after that happens to her, she realizes she cannot be weak. And the way to be strong is almost to cut out all emotions. Unlike Jon, who is still hopeful, who still has this idea that there can be a better world. We see this when Rickon dies. Jon just loses it. You see that rage in his face, and you see him right after Rickon, because he has this hope. He still thinks that he can save Rickon, when even though Sansa just straight out tells him, Regan's not gonna make it, and it doesn't bother her.
Yeah.
When she sees the body, she just kind of looks at it, and you can see a little bit of sorrow, but it's also kind of like, I told you this was gonna happen. I know I was right.
Yep.
So they have two different styles because Jon still believes in a better world. He still has these morals, and Sansa is void of all morals. She smiles when Ramsay gets eaten. So how do you think that's gonna affect anything between them? Because they have two very distinct personalities, two distinct styles. Like, how do you think that's gonna affect how they rule Winterfell, or what she's gonna do? Because she doesn't seem to have any sort of like border
humanity.
Yeah, and that too. Like, there's no line she doesn't want to cross.
Well.
Like, because we see them at odds already with Ramsay. Jon is like, doesn't matter if we don't have a lot of people, we can still do it. He has this hope, and Sansa's like, no, you cannot do this. Like, Ramsay is crazy, and there's no way you can defeat his men. So how do you think it, like, do you think it benefits her to be so tough and emotionless, or does it actually make her...
Oh God, yes, it definitely benefits her for sure, because she doesn't have these emotions that Jon has. Like, she can be cutthroat and make these decisions, like, despite them being rash.
But do you think it also hurts her?
Yeah, it's totally going to be her downfall for sure. Like, I don't see her making it at the end, honestly. Like, I don't see her making it at the end, but like, she's going to somehow... I can see her getting some way close to the top, but because of possibly going against Jon and him finding out, other people on Jon's side finding out, that's going to come back to bite her for sure. Like, I definitely can see that happening.
Because in a way, that's kind of how Ramsay was.
Mm-hmm.
He was so cutthroat to the point where he could slaughter people, he could rape somebody, and it not affect him.
Mm-hmm.
So, like you said, it is going to be her downfall. But do you think it's going to be Jon? Do you think he's...
Ooh. Oh. That is... Oh, man. God. What if it's Arya? I don't know. That is a very good question. Oh, man. I haven't even given that any thought. Because, like, just right now, like, I've kind of been, like, realizing, like, Sansa's not going to make it. Like, and it's kind of sad because I've definitely grown to love the Sansa character. But...
like, is Jon going to have to be the one that takes her down, and say, like, you cannot keep going down this path?
Mm-hmm. And possibly, like, killing her? Like, who's going to... If Sansa does, meet her end, who is it going to be by? It could be by Jon. It might even be by Littlefinger if he's not dead yet, because is she going to be, like... Marjorie route, a big explosion. Oh my God! Like, I don't want to. It's almost like I don't want to think about.
Well, like we mentioned last week, Ramsay tells her that I'm inside of you, which people have thought, oh, she's pregnant.
Yeah.
But I think it's more like you're gonna turn into me.
Yeah.
And you see it, like I've said over and over again. You see that darkness in her, like, coming out. You see that conniving kind of thing going on. So do you think she's gonna realize too late what Ramsay meant? Because, like you just said, you don't think Sansa's gonna make it.
Yeah, unfortunately, like, that's such a good thing to bring up about that virus of being the antagonist. They definitely rubbed off on her. While they were having
she's the new antagonist.
Exactly, like
we have no idea.
He planted his seed, which was the role of the antagonist, to possibly attempt to usurp Jon, and go against him, and it's just going to create this very intense dynamic for the Starks, and like, oh God, like it's like just thinking about like the possibilities that they can go through with like just Jon versus Sansa.
And then, I mean, I was going to say, if you factor Arya, what's going to happen? But I think, without a doubt, Arya's going to... Well, I don't know, because I would think Arya would side with Jon because, they were always very close. Like, that was his favorite sibling. That was her favorite sibling. But also, we see Arya kind of descend into this darkness, into this madness. Do you think she'll actually side with Sansa? Because she seems to be literally cutting throats with no regards to the consequences, and she's on a mission to take them all out.
I don't know.
And to not have any emotion.
I feel like Arya, I think she would side with Jon. I don't see her reuniting with Jon anytime soon, to be honest. Like, Arya she's like going to King's Land. She's going to.
She has her list of things to accomplish.
Yeah, so like I can definitely see her like, because I don't think they're gonna reunite. Like, I see Arya and Jon reuniting like at the end, you know, like. So I don't see her like really being like a potential character to be placed into that like whole feud. But I mean, she's got to get Numeria, right? Her dire wolf, and she's gonna go try to fuck some shit up. So.
Do you think family means anything to Sansa anymore?
Well, taking into consideration that half of her family's dead, no. And just
because her and Jon.
She didn't care about Rickon.
That's true. But her and Jon had this beautiful
She
reunion,
does. Yeah.
And they hated each other. She apologized, for being a brat. She tells them, "You're Stark to me." So I think there's still part of her that believes that, that she has to side with him because he's her family. But I think ultimately that darkness is going to win.
Yeah.
And she's going to, anything in her head, it's going to be like, well, he might be your family, but he's wrong.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if you're family or not. Sometimes you just got to.
It was great foreshadowing if that is to happen with, Ramsay saying that he's inside of her. So, I mean, it's just not looking good for her. Like, it's looking good for Jon. It's looking good for Daenerys. Brienne, the Hound.
Which I think,
Arya.
I think it's possible that Sansa might take down Littlefinger as well.
You think so?
I think so. I think she's pretty.
She's gonna somehow use him. He's gonna think like, because he'll do anything for her.
I know, and I think she's gonna be his downfall because she's getting pretty smart, Yeah. She kind of figured out a way to play Littlefinger, and I think she's gonna use that to take him down and possibly take his army, and it'll be. I don't think she'll go against Jon, but it'll be interesting to see what happens.
She could totally use him, and then maybe Jon. Like, I don't know.
She's up to something for sure.
I can see it going like in various ways, like Jon, going after Littlefinger.
Yeah, and like
Jon,
and she
just
staged
like,
the whole. Yeah, exactly.
So like, gosh,
her evil laugh that's going on.
But like, she does care for Jon. She does. So you bring up a good point. Because she freaking told him like you're Stark. So it's just very interesting to see her continue going down this path despite her love for Jon. So. I'm ready for some dark freaking Phoenix from freaking Sansa. Dark Phoenix.
Who is actually Jean Grey in the reboot of X-Men.
It's really perfect.
So Sophie Turner is on a roll with this whole like good girl gone bad thing.
Exactly. So I like this character. I love that type of character. Like I love that archetype. So
I know I wasn't Team Sansa, and I'm not gonna say I am Team Sansa, but she definitely isn't this helpless damsel in distress that she was. She's not as annoying as she was because, man, I couldn't stand Sansa in the first season.
No one could. I couldn't have either. And I loved it when didn't Arya slap her or hit her like in the first season.
So I like where this is going. I like how much depth there is now to Sansa and how many different ways Sansa could go and what she could do and who she can betray.
It's just great for the show being subversive for its female characters.
Yeah, because
they're more than half of them are strong female characters.
This episode, this episode and the previous one, which wasn't Battle of the Bastards, was it? No.
The previous one?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Battle of the Bastards.
Oh, what? Okay. Well, those two really set up the board for strong female characters because you got Yara who's coming to take back her House of Greyjoy. We see her on her ships supporting Daenerys, who is the strongest freaking female character.
The flirtation between them.
And that too. Cersei takes the throne.
Yep.
So she's the ruler of the kingdom so far. You see Sansa kind of come into power in her own sort of way, in that she finds confidence in herself, and she's not going to let anything stand in her way. Arya is a force to be reckoned with. She's slitting throats everywhere, left and right.
She's just untouchable now.
Brienne, last time we forgot to talk about Brienne, but she's there. So.
Yep. Oh my god. It's fantastic. And
and then Martell's the only one left is Elias, who we see talking
completely
to
forgot about that.
Olenna Tyrell.
Yeah. Yep.
Who Olenna is now.
Completely forgot about them.
Olenna is now like the head of House Tyrell, the head of Highgarden, because she's the only one left.
Exactly.
Unfortunate. You see her making an alliance with
the Sand Snakes.
With the Sand Snakes, with the Martells. It was Oberyn's whore or wife now, but she's leading House Martell, and they are coming for the Lannisters.
Mm-hmm.
They are coming. We see them also talking to who's the bald one?
Oh, the eunuch.
The eunuch.
I completely forgot his name.
We see them talking to him, but that was really interesting because now you have these two women who have come into power.
Yep.
And who do not seem to be bothered by this power.
I know. She was like, despite her, being in mourning, dressed in black, she was just like, shut up. Like,
yeah.
She was just like, she's amazing.
Barra, what was her name?
One of the daughters?
The daughter was named Obera, and she just kept making fun of that name.
Oh my god.
But we've obviously seen Olenna Tyrell just be this badass throughout the entire series, but to see her make an alliance with this,
that was pretty awesome.
With this character who I'm pretty sure was like a bastard or a whore and became Oberyn's wife and is now ruler by default, and to see her just kind of be like, oh, here, like, be afraid.
And having these badass daughters, like. And I completely forgot about them. Like, they were only in the first episode of this season, I believe. Like,
well, they were in the finale because we see them talking too.
They were in the but they were also only in the first episode before that. Like, so I was like, oh my god, this is perfect. Like, they're coming for Cersei. Like, everyone's.
It is, and you like fear them more than you could fear even like Jaime, because the way that they're just like, we have a common enemy and it's the Lannisters, and you're just like, holy shit. The Lannisters, like, or at least Cersei, is trying to take the whole kingdom, but what she's actually doing is turning the whole kingdom against each other and towards each other.
Because, she has so many people coming after her.
Yeah, because Olenna said, I don't know her name. I think it's like Elias. She mentioned that they don't really have a good history. The last time Tyrell was like over there, I think they ended up dead. And she's just like, I don't really care because we both need to take down Cersei. Yeah. Because Cersei has taken everything from us.
Mm-hmm. And like, who wants to kill Cersei? Arya, Olenna,
Tyrion.
Tyrion, possibly Jaime. Like, Jesus Christ, she has. Oh my God, like
probably Sansa. Let's not forget that.
It's not looking good for her, but she's gonna somehow keep up a fight. She's got the mountain. She's reclaimed the throne, so.
Oh, we forgot Dario. I was just saying I really miss Dario. I hope he comes back. Because he doesn't travel with them. So.
Yeah, that's true. I wonder what's he going to be up to?
I don't know. So
where is he now? Huh.
A random note. I do miss Dario. I hope he comes back.
Good question. But, do we need him? I don't know. He's just kind of like a...
Which, I loved that Daenerys is like, I let him go and I don't feel anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I love that in a way because it kind of showed that she is this strong, that she doesn't need any romantic relationship. She is this strong woman who can stand her ground, and the only reason she would need a man is to make alliances.
Exactly.
And that's all marriage is to her.
That's the only reason why she wants a marriage. So that's another thing. That's an awesome thing for Daenerys' character. Because I don't want her to end up with anyone. I don't. But she does have to reunite with Jorah somehow, obviously. But I don't know.
Man, those writers on this show, I don't know how they do it.
In 13 episodes, like I said, and it's there's 2 more seasons, right, within those 13 episodes. So we still got 2 years of Game of Thrones, correct?
Yeah, which next year is going to be delayed.
Delayed, really?
They said it's going to be delayed because they said winter is here, and therefore they can no longer shoot in summer seasons, so they have to wait for snow and stuff. So it's going to be delayed. And it's actually going to be shorter, too, so it's going to be less episodes and later.
Okay, so this is going to be 6 episodes.
I have no idea. It's not confirmed.
Okay.
The number 13 isn't even confirmed entirely.
Oh, really?
But it's just they anticipated somewhere between, I think they said 80 episodes, and we're already something at 65.
Yeah.
But it could change, so it's not for sure. But definitely it's looking like we only have 2 more seasons.
Oh my gosh, it's so sad. It's so sad. It's hard to believe.
All
right. We also forgot to mention a character. We also forgot to mention Sorry about that dog. The dog is
I
trying.
like that you looked at the wall. Like,
No,
the dog's at, and it just stopped barking.
The dog he's trying to get in on this. He wants to be featured in this episode. But anyways.
Hey, as long as you feed the dogs.
True. I mean, we'll put his Twitter down and everything. Yeah, R.I.P.
We haven't seen Lady Stoneheart. We should have seen her in season 4, 3.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I lost track of my seasons. Who do you think is gonna inherit that story?
I think it's like for certainly like Arya. Like I thought it was gonna be Sansa somehow, but Arya's definitely got this objective of revenge. But the dark part about Lady Stoneheart's character is kind of going towards Sansa, whereas Arya is just, she wants to avenge the Starks and her father. So, clearly, there's no way, Sorry, guys. I'm sad too. But Lady Stoneheart, with the small amount of episodes left, and the amount of characters.
Yeah, it's gonna be really hard to do her entire story in one limited
it would
time
just kind of it would just be redundant. So it's safe to say that she's been written out. But on to lighter news. Let's go on to
We have our special Game of Thrones edition of likes and kills. So what we're gonna actually do is do a would you rather in a way. So we've had 2 kings in the north, which let me just briefly say that was an epic scene. I still get chills just thinking about it. But which king in the north do you like more? Robb Stark, the young wolf, or do you prefer Jon Snow, the white wolf?
Oh, so I'm going first?
You're going first.
Well, because I think you definitely like Robb. Like, he's more attractive. Oh, like, I think Robb is, like, way more attractive personally. Like, I agree. But the amount of, like, things and accomplishments that Jon has, like, been able to accomplish, like, I really get behind Jon, and it's, like, almost like, oh, I forgot about Robb. Like, Robb's awesome. He's, like, whew. But I have to go with Jon Snow with this one, personally.
It's hard to say anything because I feel like I'm discrediting one or the other. Kit Harington, though, is like, he's still my phone background. As much as I love Richard Madden, Kit Harington currently has my heart. Although Richard Madden was my first love on Game of Thrones. I do like Robb because there was this humanity to Robb that I liked, and I know it was his downfall. But there was, I don't know, I really respected him for that. And in the books it happens differently. He marries her name was Jane, I think, in the book. He marries her because he sleeps with her and then is like, oh shoot, like, I need to marry you so you don't become this like whore. And I loved what that said about his character. And I know he didn't exist for that. I know he didn't live on for that reason. But I liked Robb for that. He had this.
And that was Jon that happened to him, or is that Robb?
That was Robb. That was Robb. It was Robb because in the books, or in the series, he marries her because he falls in love with her. And in the book, I mean, he does fall in love with her in the books, but it's because he sleeps with her without marrying her, and so he took her virginity and wanted to and did the right thing, which is to marry her. And I liked that about Robb.
I think that's like kind of like an interesting comparison because that like kind of relates to Jon and his like upbringing and how he was kind of like considered this bastard child and like despite them being different characters, like, oh well, he didn't want to go this same path that like he didn't really like, like it's like the same path that like Jon, like what if he did like leave her with a child, so it's just very interesting that like that you bring that up. It's kind of like reminding me like, oh, like, like I don't know, it's just something to think about.
So I think Jon is a great leader because he's able to have that he keeps morale, he can keep this the goodness within him while also knowing that you need to pull certain things, you need to cross certain lines, to get what you he's not afraid, he's not fearful. But I don't know, I just like Robb, and Robb I just loved how sweet Robb was. He wasn't meant for the Game of Thrones world.
He wasn't, as shown by the Red Wedding, unfortunately.
I still can't watch that episode. I've seen it twice.
Really? I've only seen it once.
I saw it once for the first time, and then the second time I was like going through the series, and I thought, I can watch this episode, and then I couldn't do it. So I can't do it again. on our kill of the week is gonna be
yes.
who would you rather kill, Ramsay or Joffrey?
Well, I personally think as annoying.
Well, let me set this up though, because Ramsay was bad in that he really was twisted. His brain was very twisted. But Joffrey was bad because he found enjoyment from killing people.
Yeah.
He got joy from brutally murdering or brutally torturing people, while Ramsay just has a very twisted mind.
Mm-hmm.
So who would you rather kill?
Well, Joffrey, he also has a punch me face. You just want to punch him in the face. And as annoying as he is, he didn't last that long. So then, despite him like torturing like those prostitutes, that was a horrible fucking thing to do. Like and all the shit that he did to Sansa and just being a fucking asshole.
The way that he was just like, nah, let's just behead Ned. Like
True.
he had no concern for any life.
But like I feel like who did the most damage and like
deserves to die more.
Yes, Ramsay. And I think at least Ramsay doesn't have a punch me face. He's gorgeous.
What?
Ramsay's gorgeous. Have you not watched Misfits when he portrayed Simon? Oh my god. Did you ever see Misfits?
No.
His character Simon, like, oh my god. I mean, granted, like, I was like younger, but I mean, we kind of have history, so like, and like, I loved like Sansa could kill him, or no, I'll kill him.
So who would you rather kill?
I'll kill Ramsay.
You'll kill Ramsay?
Yeah.
All right, that's fair.
Yeah. And are you gonna kill Joffrey?
I don't know. I want to kill Joffrey. I really do, because it really pissed me off how he just found enjoyment from like ruining everybody's life.
Yeah, it pissed me off too.
But Ramsay's done some pretty twisted things.
Yeah.
Ramsay killed Rickon, which I'm not fond of, but
slit Osha her throat.
Yeah, I guess it would have to be Ramsay.
Fed a woman and her baby to his hounds, his dogs.
I guess it'd be Ramsay.
And he like basically raped Sansa.
Yeah, on the basis of him doing far more gruesome acts than Joffrey ever did.
So I mean, bye Ramsay. Sorry. I mean,
It's
already
unanimous.
It's already he's gone, but like yeah. So this is really sad. It's bittersweet because we're not gonna have like
we're done.
Yeah, we're not gonna have a Game of Thrones themed or we're not gonna be able to talk about it.
Yeah, I mean,
for a long time.
I guess you could.
Yeah, you could for like maybe like more rumors, things that are coming out, news. Actors spotted on set, actors not.
But that would be really hard because it doesn't always mean it.
There's going to be some news here and there, I guess, about Game of Thrones.
Otherwise, I think we're
done. And I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Tell us what you think. Who would you rather kill? Joffrey or Ramsay? And who's a better king in the north? Robb or Jon?
Or Sansa.
Oh, good. Yeah. Pixie, I dare you. We'll see next season. We'll see. Maybe your answer will change.
Also, long live Ghost, because I don't want him to die.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to Netflix
and Kill.
Signing out. Peace.
Goodbye.